Hi, Dave Champion here to speak with you again about liberty. The Lafayette Theater shooting has resulted in an increase, yet again, in gun control rhetoric. So I thought I'd give you 5 lightning-fast facts you can use to shut down the anti-liberty crowd. Number 1, the number of guns in America. Identifiable statistics say there are over 300 million firearms in America, but experts agree the true number is likely much, much higher. So what do these numbers mean? They mean that the genie is out of the bottle and can never be put back. There is simply no way to remove hundreds of millions of guns from that portion of American society that believes down deep in their core possessing firearms is a fundamental right. Anti-gunners can disagree all they want, but to put their beliefs into practice, they'd have to have the balls to try to take guns by force. Gun control is a wonderfully passionate subject for anti-gunners to talk about boldly, but not for a moment do they have the intestinal fortitude to take personal action. Unless they want to place their own lives at risk by taking our guns by force, they're just punks running their mouths, which is what they are. Number 2, you will never pass any law that I will respect if it requires me to surrender my ability to effectively defend myself against a deadly assailant or perhaps multiple assailants. I'm under no obligation to endure serious bodily injury or perhaps death in order to satisfy somebody else's utopian vision of the world. And hundreds of Americans, millions of Americans feel the same way. Number 3, anti-gunners love to claim that more guns results in more shootings. The evidence proves just the opposite, but let's for a moment pretend the anti-gunners' lie was actually true. If it were true, who would be doing this more shooting? The good guys, obviously, because the anti-gunners are never talking about disarming criminals. Their efforts are always focused on taking guns away from me and you, not the bad guys. Since they're only talking about disarming the law-abiding public, from where would this increase in guns come from they speak of? Well, from more law-abiding citizens carrying guns, of course, and that is their concern. So if more law-abiding citizens are carrying guns and there were to be more shootings, who is it you imagine would be the ones getting shot? Right, the bad guys. So even if the anti-gunners' lie was true, that more guns result in more shootings, they'd fail to mention the increase would be in bad guys getting shot. What sort of unethical bastards want fewer bad guys shot at the expense of injury or death to good law-abiding citizens? Wow. Number 4, the anti-gunners love to say that if you just cooperate with the bad guy and give them what they want, nothing will happen to you. You'll be fine. Really? Well, how about the Westroads Mall shooting, the Trolley Square shooting, the Tacoma Mall shooting, the Aurora Theater shooting, the Lafayette Theater shooting, and 5 family members stabbed to death just a week ago? These are prime examples right out of the headlines that cooperation isn't even a factor in some of these deadly attacks, that the shooter isn't seeking anyone's cooperation, only their death. Number 5. Owning and carrying a firearm has been twice declared by the U.S. Supreme Court to be an individual right, just like freedom of speech or freedom of assembly. It was declared that first in the District of Columbia v. Heller, and then again 2 years later in McDonald v. City of Chicago. While the court made it clear that declaring it an individual right did not foreclose reasonable regulation, such as not yelling fire in a crowded theater is a reasonable regulation on free speech, the right to own and carry firearms is now and forever declared an individual fundamental right. Though anti-gunners don't like to admit it, that's game over for them. In summary, the problem isn't that too many law-abiding citizens are carrying firearms. The problem is that not enough Americans accept the responsibility of carrying firearms. Thanks very much for being here with me. I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.